Back to politics now. So far in the 2016 GOP race, outsider candidates have attracted much of the spotlight. But a new Bloomberg poll shows experienced politicians, well, they still could have an edge. When asked this question, who do you realistically see as president? 47% say Hillary Clinton. Jeb Bush next with 40%. Further down, Donald Trump getting 29%. When asked who would be an unrealistic candidate for president, Donald Trump topping the list, 69%, Marco Rubio, 61%. Time to bring in Larry Sabato, director of the Center for Politics at the University of Virginia, for some real talk on this. Okay, so Larry, the key question in this, or the key word in this question was realistically. Who do you realistically see as being president? Do words like that dramatically change answers?
I think they do, and particularly in this case. Think about it for a second, Gretchen. It's really amazing when you realize that either a Bush or a Clinton has been occupying the White House for 20 of the last 26 and a half years. So naturally, people can imagine a Clinton in the White House or a Bush in the White House. Now, imagining them realistically in the White House doesn't mean they want them in the White House. It might be their dream. It could easily be their nightmare.
Okay, well, that's one way of looking at it. So you look at that word realistically totally different than if the question is, who do you like or who has a high favorability?
Absolutely. Or who are you inclined to vote for? Or even more revealing at this point in time, who would you absolutely not vote for? And then go right down the list and see what the percentages are.
Okay, so once again, we're looking at the realistic candidate. Hillary Clinton, 47, Jeb Bush, 40, and then down the list there to Donald Trump. All right, let's move on to this, because there's been a lot of questions about polls and the growing problem of whether or not the tried and true paradigm is now out of date. So, Larry, cell phones have changed this whole game, right? As well as people simply not wanting to be involved.
That's absolutely right. And Gretchen, it's really good and important that you've raised this question. And I hope your colleagues on Fox and in other networks will start doing the same thing. It's so easy to throw poll numbers up on the screen. It's much more complicated to explain to people why they may not be worth the cyberspace that they're reserved on or the paper they're printed on. The fact of the matter is that in the old days, it was easy to poll. Basically, pollsters used to go into people's homes. They'd stay for more than an hour, back when Gallup did it. When I was growing up, I remember a woman that lived in our neighborhood got an interview with Gallup in her home, and she dined off that for years. It was a big distinction to be interviewed by Gallup. Today, we're flooded with polls. They come into us via our cell phones because 3/5 of Americans either exclusively or mainly rely on their cell phones. There are no more landlines in many households. Why does that matter? Because many people will not pick up their cell phones unless they clearly know who's involved. And the pollsters are required to pay minutes. They have to pay for the time that they use, which drives up the costs of polling.
Okay, so how do we fix this? Because when you look back in recent elections, 2012, 2014, the Israeli election, even in Great Britain, it appears to be a worldwide problem. How do we fix it?
Sure. And don't forget about 2012 and 2014 here in the United States. How you fix it? The greatest pros in polling admit that there is no clear solution right now. In the future, and I mean after years of study and research, I think it's going to come down to online polling, maybe supplemented still by some telephone polling, but it's going to be online polling once everybody understands better how the sampling process can really work, getting, if not a random sample, than a reasonable sample of the population. But it's going to be years. And that means in 2016, a lot of the polling information we're going to be seeing is going to be just plain wrong.
That is so fascinating, and I just want to say here that we've clarified at Fox News, you know, we do go through those extra measures to make sure, like you were talking about, the extra money to make sure that the polling is more accurate. All right, Larry Sabato, great information today. Thank you.